All right. Appreciate you being with us today. How to eat like an athlete. Get questions from our parents coming in now and some of the other coaches and things we work with because we're getting this information out to the kids. The kids get it at our camps, whether they're coming to our summer camp, our 3-day camps, our year round training. We have them fill out a fuel chart. And I'm going to have a link for this down there as well so that you can get this fuel chart and bring in. But basically, what we try and get our kids to understand is as part of an athlete, it's not just actually coming to work out, working hard, and that's good enough. The more you're prepared for it, you're sleeping, you're eating right, you're hydrated, you have more energy to actually put into every rep, every drill, so you can become better. Working hard is great. We all need to do that. But if you're at a low level because you're tired and you haven't eaten right, your 100% isn't going to be enough to give you that next point going up. You'll still get better because you're working hard. But that athlete that's working hard, same output, but has better energy because they're eating, they're hydrating, they're getting sleep. Their output they can give on each drill is even better than the other one. That's the athlete that's going to really get dominant out there on the field and the court. So we have them fill out this fuel chart. Basically, all it is when you download it and get it set up, there's 5 different spots on here. Each bracket represents a different meal, which we tell our kids we want them averaging 4 to 6 meals a day, depending on the little guys or high school, college athletes we work with. But what they eat within those meals makes a big difference. So I have them just take this and I want to see a normal day. So they fill out that first bracket is going to be their breakfast. The next bracket may be snack or lunch. The next one could be a snack again and dinner. Some of them turn it in with 2 meals is all they've eaten. Some of them can fill all 5, and I tell them, okay, if you get 6, fill it in the back. That's awesome. It gives them an example because what I do then, once they fill it out, and this is everything they eat and drink. So water, soda, milk, doesn't matter what it is. I want it on that sheet. We also have a spot on the side they can write the time of day that they had those meals. Got another bracket they can put in how much sleep they've had that night before. When they go to calorieking.com, which is where I send them because it's a basic website, we don't have any contact or anything with them other than it's just a lot of good data to help give them an idea of where they're at. They're going to type into that search bar on there and it says, okay, they had a Pop Tart or a corn dog or a chicken breast, whatever it was, put that in there. It'll give them a choice for maybe portion size. Was it 1 ounce? Was it 2? Was it a half pound burger? Was it a Burger King hamburger, Whopper? So whatever it is, it'll give them choice. Get as close as they can. Then they're going to fill in how many calories, carbs, protein, and fat they had in that item. And they do that for everything they eat and drink, and they do that whole thing. That's all they have to do. Then they bring it back into camp for us. At that point, then I make some notes. And on that, getting the notes back to them, I'll mark down basically, we take a look at where they're at for calories, because that's the first thing. I want to make sure they're getting enough calories to do what they need to do. But I want to make sure it's not all done at dinner time and breakfast. They've had just a piece of fruit on the way out the door. You've gone 10 hours without anything in their food, sometimes more, and they don't have any protein or very little, they're going to have some troubles with it. So that's what I want to see. The next thing I do is I figure out how much protein they've had because they've already researched it, but I just total it for every meal. My red pen out, I circle it, write the amount they had, and we'll go all the way down. Then I can get an idea of where they were at for protein for total for the day, but also how much they have with each meal. My younger guys, I want them hitting around 15 grams of protein. My middle school guys are around 20 grams generally each of those going into it. My high schoolers are typically 25 to 30 grams, depending on their body weight, where they're at. Boys, girls, are they a 130-pound athlete or a 240-pound athlete? Then I take a look at what kind of water volume they've had. And again, whether they're doing it each meal or they're doing it at the end of the day, I tell them don't count the stuff that you're drinking during a practice, during camp, during your workouts. I want to know before, after, the rest of the day that you're doing. And then we'll total that up as well. And I want to see, so they have an idea of how often they're getting that and where they're at for their meal. I want them drinking half their body weight in ounces of water. So that 100-pound athlete, 50 ounces of water. 200-pound athlete, 100 ounces of water. I don't need my 70-pound athlete walking around with a gallon of water like their high school 220-pound football player brother is walking around with, because you don't need that much at 70 pounds. So getting that balance and finding out where they're at is what we're after with this. So make sure you download this chart. I'll also put a link for our guidelines that we put out, some general guidelines going out. And again, yes, not specific. You're diabetic, you've got this. There's always things you adjust. Check your doctor with that. But I can tell you overall, even the diabetics we work with, we keep on a similar diet by having a protein regular throughout. It helps regulate blood sugars. It helps keep their body, their energy level where it needs to be with the right kind of carbs, proteins. That mix back and forth is awesome. But they have to do it on a regular basis. And our kids will figure that out as they go through our camps based on their energy level, what they can put out, how they feel when they're going through the workout, and how quickly they recover if they're eating right, hydrated, and they're getting the rest that they need to. So let me know if you have questions on this, parents going out, or the athletes, whoever's looking at this going out, or the coaches. You want access to this to get it out to your kids, that's great. Just use our stuff. Make sure you got a contact on it. So if they've got questions, they know what to ask that. But take a look at that chart, fill it out, whether you're part of our camp or not. Just get an idea. Take your normal day. Don't say, okay, here's the guidelines. Here's what I need to try and do. I prefer you just use a normal day. It may be great, but you won't know till you fill it out the normal day. Then take a look at it, because we've had parents and kids come to us alike that say, you know what, no, eating's not a problem. They're okay. We don't need to do that. Well, you do, because you're part of my program, so we'll do that. But let's just see what happens. If you get it right, that'd be great. But I could tell you, I haven't had anybody in 29 years have come to me with a food chart on the first try and everything's perfect. So that's okay. That's what we're supposed to, that's what we're camp for, is to learn how do we get better? How do we get things going into it? So fill that out, put it in there. But email me if you have questions. I'm going to put that link down there as well. Just email us at theSOApodcast@gmail.com. And right there, you can do that, theSOApodcast@gmail.com. Let us know there, or on the Facebook page, put something in there. I want to know what kind of things you're doing at camp. What kind of questions do you have as far as food? What are some recommending? What are something that doesn't work for you? What are the things that have helped you a lot you've noticed, so that we can help other athletes as well, because we're going through the same thing. You're not the only one. So download it. Let me know if you have questions. Make sure, if you haven't already seen it, we're posting this today. I'm going to get this up on YouTube today on Wednesday. I think it's the 20th of June, 2018. So get that put on before the end of the week. I'm going to have our weekly podcast, which for us has really been about, as an athlete, what do you need to do to help from preventing getting cut, how to get the most out of your training. And it's got a lot of things that go on from a coach's perspective. I think it's important for athletes to understand where we come from, what we want to be able to do and give to you, what we hear from you, and what we want to give back. And then sometimes we don't always see the actions of what your words are. And believe me, I've always been into this, whether it's my own kids or the athletes I train. It doesn't really matter what you tell me, it's what you do. I want to see that in action. And the more you give me and you show me, the more I'm going to give you to help as well. So look for the stuff, like it, share it, tag a teammate, tag somebody you know that needs to get on this food thing and get it right. And again, I'm not worried about somebody having 6-pack abs. That's great. But we're after more energy output. You can give the most in your practice. If you're getting drained after warm-ups, that's a problem. So let's get it right and learn how to eat like an athlete. All right. Thank you much. We'll look for your comments and things below, and we'll see you soon.